After an impressive and much-needed victory against the Baltimore Ravens at home, the Pittsburgh Steelers go back on the road to the Minnesota Vikings on a short week for Thursday Night Football.
Thursday Night Football, which personally I'm not a fan of. I don't like Thursday Night Football, but that's mainly due to the fact that it's on a short week, and no one likes short weeks. No one likes only being prepared for 3 days for a big football game, especially this late into the season, especially since stuff like this has a long history of injuries occurring because of it. That's just me.
It's just very tiresome for the players and everybody in general.
It is.
The NFL. You might as well just do a doubleheader Monday Night Football type of thing.
Yes, which I think is just so easy to do.
I think it'd be much more fun and cooler for football fans.
One East Coast, one West Coast game.
Because when it comes to Thursday Night Football games, the majority of the time, they're garbage games.
They are.
It's always below 500, terrible teams pretty much fighting for a higher draft pick.
Like, it's cool we get football in the middle of the week, but there's more negative than positive at that point. But Thursday Night Football, regardless, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Minnesota Vikings. The Steelers coming off a much-needed win, like Rob said, against the Ravens. I'm hoping that's a momentum booster. That's a wake-up call, quote-unquote, because this team needs it for sure. I love the victory. Anytime we beat the Ravens is a proud victory, in my opinion.
It's a positive.
And it was in classic Steelers-Ravens fashion. But obviously there's still some concerns with this team as we face a Vikings team that is 5-7 right now, have lost 2 straight, including one which they gave the Lions their first victory of the season.
As time expired.
On
4th and 2, I mean.
On 4th and 2, and all you heard were the roars from Lions fans as they finally won a football game. Yeah, we tied with the Lions. I understand that. But at least we didn't give them their first fucking win. The Vikings, man, they fight hard. They really do. They really do.
No,
they came back.
I feel like despite their record, I feel like they're still a very competitive football team.
They are, because last week they came...
Especially that offense of theirs.
Because last week they came back from a 2-possession game, took the lead, but one problem with the Vikings, that's been a reoccurrence their entire franchise, is they can't finish games.
They can't hold on to a lead, or they blow leads.
They just choke.
Their defense can't hold their own end of the bargain like their offense has this season.
Especially that offense, which is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, Kirk Cousins leads the way at quarterback. He's been very iffy since joining the Minnesota Vikings, since getting that big contract a couple years back.
I think he's been a little underappreciated by some fans and some analysts, honestly.
I mean, he hasn't been great by any means, but for this season, I'd say he's having a very quiet season. He's actually been doing, I think, the best in his career.
Yeah, arguably, especially with weapons around him. But there's a problem with Kirk Cousins, though. Primetime. That's his kryptonite. He is 8-17 in primetime games. 8-17 in his career.
He doesn't show up. He can't really get the job done completely.
No.
In primetime.
Although he does have crazy weapons. He has a very solid offensive line, especially those tackles, Darisaw and Brian O'Neill. I know Darisaw was out last week. He might be back this week, although that's kind of hard to tell because it's on a short week. But if he is, that's going to be a tough challenge for Highsmith. And, TJ Watt coming off 3.5 sacks with limited practice last week, and he's going up against one of the most underrated right tackles in the league. But I still like the matchup.
Yeah.
And I still favor TJ Watt because it's TJ motherfucking Watt.
Yeah, he's the best edge rusher and current and favorite defensive player of the year right now.
In our eyes. But, his weapons, Justin Jefferson is quickly becoming one of the best receivers in the league. Ever since this guy first touched an NFL field, it's been nothing but positive.
The guy's an absolute freaking
machine.
He's a beast.
He is a machine, and our secondary is still a little worrisome. It still allows big plays. It still allows third downs, especially 2 receivers. I don't know if Hayden's going to be back. He didn't practice the last 2 weeks. He's been out 2 weeks, and he's on a short week as well. So I don't know if he's going to practice. I don't know what the likelihood of him playing is. If we get him back, awesome. We're going to need him since Justin Jefferson is a freak. I know Adam Thielen left the game last week versus the Lions.
And he didn't come back in either.
No, so that's a question mark for their offense, but they still have Tyler Conklin, the tight end, who gets involved a lot. KJ Osborne had a good start to the season. He's been a little quiet recently, but he's still a weapon to look out for sure.
Another thing with the Vikings offense is their running game. I don't think they'll have Dalvin Cook because he's still dealing with an injury. Depending on if the Vikings make the playoffs or not, he could be back at that time.
Right.
But they still have a very good number 2 and an underrated running back, in my honest opinion, and that's Alexander Madison.
Madison he reminds me of a mini Dalvin Cook. He runs very similar. He's tough to take down. He doesn't go down on first contact. He fights for yards. He gives effort 100%. He's a tough runner.
And that's one guy that I will be worried about in this game because the Steelers' rushing defense, they did step up a bit against the Ravens, but they are still going up against a better offensive line than the Vikings and a younger and fresher and very good running back in Madison.
Yes, because this rushing defense still does concern me. Now, props to Montravius Adams, who stepped in last week and did really well. You can tell there was a big difference from the depth we had with Adams then. It's like night and day. And I know Carlos Davis was just promoted off of IR Saturday night, I believe. So I don't know if he's going to play. He didn't play last week. He's on a short week as well, so I don't know how much time he's going to be able to get in or if he will play. But if he does, that's a big bonus because any more fresh faces we can get on this D-line, the better. But I still have some concerns for this Russian defense as of right now. So we got to be able to stop Madison and force Cousins to pass the ball, in which we got to allow our pass rush to eat.
Yeah, we do.
Which we currently lead the NFL in sacks right now with 37, which should be to no one's surprise. We've led the league in sacks for, 4 years now, going on 5 about? It's crazy. But at the same time, the Vikings pass rush is second.
Yeah, they're right behind us, surprisingly.
With 36. However, though, they will be without Everson Griffin and Danielle Hunter once again. Danielle Hunter's on IR. He's probably out for the rest of the year, and Everson's on a non-football illness list.
Which hopefully Everson Griffin's doing good after that scary moment just a couple of weeks back.
Of course.
Hopefully he's doing good.
But they'll be without a dynamic edge rush duo.
Yeah.
And their depth, man, I mean, their rushing defense just isn't all that. And plus, they were without Anthony Barr and Eric Kendricks last week as well. They might get them back, but same thing with what we already said. You know, it's a short week. That's a question mark as well.
It is.
So that's another reason why we don't like short weeks, because some of these injuries, you know, on a short week, you don't know if you're going to get these guys back in a big matchup.
Exactly. It's just not. It's just. I wouldn't say it's not really fair, but I guess it is what it is.
It's just not favorable
with these matchups.
It's not favorable in anyone's
with
eyes.
These short weeks. No, it's not.
But you know, despite what the Vikings are historically or what they've done recently, you know how they fight tough, but they blow leads. They can't finish games. It's still going to be a tough battle because the Vikings do fight tough.
They do.
But I do like our chances in this game just because of what they showed me a little bit in the fourth quarter last week from the Steelers, but also because we are facing a Vikings team that can't close games, facing Kirk Cousins in prime time. And I know it's in Minnesota, but I have a little more optimism than I did recent weeks in this game.
Oh, yeah, me too.
But I do hope with this offense that we can actually play more than one quarter.
Yeah, hopefully we play a full 60 minutes because that's what I want to see. Even on a short week, that's what I want to see. With this momentum that the Steelers have now with a win off a division rival in the Ravens at home, that's got to bleed on the road to Minnesota for Thursday night.
Yes.
That momentum has got to be on point. They have to be on point. This offense has to play a full 60 minutes, continue to try to establish a rushing game with Najee Harris, rock to the Naj, give him the ball, run the ball. Don't give up any turnovers. Don't make any mistakes. They've been doing that very well. Or they did that very well against the Ravens.
Right. And
connect your targets. Deontay Johnson's a star. He's stepping up. You got Frymuth. He's a very dependable target and red zone machine.
And we're going up against the Vikings secondary that is very questionable. Very questionable. They have some guys on there, recognizable names, but still very questionable.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting a very competitive matchup from these two teams. The offense has to step up for sure. They got to play more than 15 minutes of football. In the defense, they got to be able to try to limit Madison, stop the run, and get to Cousins, force some mistakes. Because when Cousins is under pressure, this defense can force some turnovers.
Yes, they can.
Which we've been doing pretty decently the last few weeks. Minka has 2 picks the last 2 weeks. Watt's getting to the quarterback. Guys are stepping up. So we need, even though it's on a short week, we might not have Davis back or Hayden or guys like that. Maybe not B.J. Finney as well since he got hurt. We're going to need guys to continue to step up for sure.
Yeah.
Guys in the secondary, guys at the D-line, guys on the O-line. Guys like James Pierre, Witherspoon, of course Justin Lane, John LeGlue, who had a really good game coming up from the practice squad. Same thing with Montravius Adams. So guys got to continue to step up in a big primetime game heading on the road on a short week.
Yes, they do.
But I like our chances in this game. I really do.
More optimistic about this game. Coming off a great win against Baltimore. Let's get this win.
Let's get this win, man. We are currently 6-5-1. We'd love to make it 7-5-1 and continue on the division rankings, on the playoff rankings, as we're still currently in the hunt. So the more wins we rack up, the better. And it's on a short week, but we got to get this dub, man. Against the Vikings, it's not going to be easy. Vikings are a very competitive team like they've shown all year.
Yeah, I can definitely see this game being very, very close.
Very close. Very competitive.
So let's go on the road, get the dub, go to 7-5-1, and increase our chances for the playoffs.
Absolutely.
Because that's what the Steelers are fighting for right now, especially with this one last ride for Big Ben.
Yes, it is. This is his one last ride.
You want to send Big Ben out on a high note, you go out there, have great performances, be consistent, and fight your way for the playoffs.
Absolutely.
Because that's exactly what they're doing right now.
But here we go, Steelers. Let's get this fucking win, man. Let's advance on 2 wins straight before we head into a big AFC battle with the Titans, which is going to be crazy. But we got the Vikings here on a short week. Let's get it, man. Let's get this win, and let's advance to 7-5-1. So let us know your guys' thoughts down below. Here we go, Steelers. Let's get this fucking dub, and see you guys in the next one.
Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later. Peace!